where you guys had the three kind of rival games and go out and score 100, almost 150 points and win these three games. What has this month done for your football team?
It's been a good month. I think what it's done for us, as the season went on, 6 games into it, we had some guys banged up, and we just needed some time to kind of sit back a little bit, get some guys healthy, number one, and then number two, to just regroup a little bit on some things that we're doing. Because it still takes time. I mean, you spend time in spring and summer and fall camp, but as you get in the season, there's still a lot that needs to be coached and worked on, and just getting on the same page. So I think it allowed us to do that. And I think it's been good for our team. We went from 6 games in a short amount of time to 2 games in a month, basically, and it's allowed us to kind of get some guys back and do those things. So, and we know after this month, we're into November, and we're into a 4-game stretch there, and we don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to be worried about New Mexico, and that's it. We'll move on from there.
Offensively, in September with the Air Force game, you didn't even score until the fourth quarter. You come out this month and scoring 48 points a game. What's changed? What's happened offensively?
Well, we learned, obviously, from that game. And it wasn't so much that, and like I said before, you give Air Force credit, they had a great plan against us. But the one thing about our team is we need to really go out there and just practice each and every day. And it's as simple as that. One day at a time. We're not good enough to just show up. We got to get better each and every day. In this game, so many things that happened in practice on both sides of the ball showed up. And I think the guys, that's probably what gets everybody excited from our side of things. Is you go, that's how it happened in practice. That's the play you made in practice. And these guys are out there executing, and then it happens in the game. It's motivating. It's neat to see that that translates into actual play when you go out there and play against your opponent. So we need to keep doing that. We need to have the same mindset we have right now. Try to be more and take it that way, and just learn from the Air Force game. That we take care of the football, we have a great chance to win it. We're up and consistent when we play and ready to play every single game. We have a good chance of winning, and I think that's what this month showed.
So much talk early in the season about playmakers and how it was really 2-3 guys on offense, and now you've got 8, 9, 10 guys on offense making huge plays out there. They're just those guys developing and maturing. Are you guys using guys differently, or?
I think a little bit of both. The one thing about having a guy go out there and make plays, until you've seen him make them, it's hard to really dial something up for him. And more guys have made more plays, so more opportunities have come up for our guys. And a little bit by need too. When you lose Matt and Jay's carried the ball, you want to get somebody else in there. And when you had McNichols come in and play, you're moving some guys around, which now creates some more opportunities. And at the same time, I think when Matt's not on the field, again, that's a little bit of a level that you lose, and everybody else has to step up. So I think what you're seeing is more guys with Matt being out and stepping up and making plays. And I think that's why you're getting that variety.
A word that's kind of tossed around by some of your receivers last week was simply trust. What is, in the simplest form, with Grant Hedrick in the passing game, they said that he's really starting to trust them. Kind of in the simplest form, what does that mean, and what does that allow this offense to be and do, I guess?
Yeah, what it means. I mean, that he's, I would say, more comfortable, with those guys. And trust is where, where they're going to be when they're supposed to be there. That's really the key factor for a quarterback. Hey, you're supposed to run at this spot and be here at this depth. I'm going to practice that way, and I'd expect that to be the same in the game. And to me, that's the trust is what I call consistency. If we're doing it in practice, it should work out. And you're doing it that way in the game. All right, then there's a consistency to what we're doing. So, to me, I think from our offensive standpoint, we're more consistent. From the trust standpoint, yeah, guys are just saying, hey, I'm going to get this done for you, and Grant believes that, and that's where that trust comes in. So it's a little bit of both.
Thomas Spurbeck in particular tonight, I think he had the most receiving yards of any from a receiver all year. 6 catches, that long touchdown. What have we seen from him these last 4 games? Seems like he just continues to take advantage of his opportunities.
Yeah, you said it. Takes advantage of his opportunities. Thomas is a guy that, like many of our other players that nobody knows about, and all of a sudden emerges as a good player. He's a good football player. He needs opportunities, and he's taking it. And when he gets them, he's taking advantage of them. So the ball comes in his way, and we had one tonight. He had a little stutter move, and Grant threw it up, and now you could see, and I think everybody felt like two guys were coming to the ball, and he just went up, elevated, and went and got him. You know, and that's a guy adjusting to a play in a game situation and taking advantage of his opportunity. And so, you know, for him to have this type of game, I don't think it's a surprise, you know, for anybody. I know it's not for him, but he's showing some consistency at that position to where, you know what, if you get the ball to Thomas, he's probably going to have a great chance of making a play if it's available. And he's done those things in the last couple of games.
I know we asked about Grant on the last press conference, but then after that Air Force game, he was just getting so much criticism thrown his way. And to see these last 3 games, what he's been able to do, how just encouraging is that for you to see him be able to do that?
Well, it's you know, for him, just as a leader, and you know, you guys know this. I mean, one of the number one thing for our quarterbacks is toughness, and that's the reason why you're going to have games that don't go your way, and you get way too much credit, way too much blame, and he was able to handle that. And I also think too, you know, Coach Sanford, you know, did a great job with them as well. There was a kind of a moment there where, you know, that particular position can go either direction if not handled correctly. And I thought Coach Sanford handled it as good as anybody could, coaching the quarterback position, and Grant's responded to that. So, to me, their relationship and how they work together, the type of trust they have, you know, in each other, has been very positive.
Yeah, Coach, down at field level tonight, it was extremely, extremely loud. Do you want to talk about a little bit about how, you know, the noise that Bronco Nation brings kind of, you know, adds to the X factor for the team?
Yeah, that was tremendous tonight. You know, the whole energy of the stadium. You play these Friday night games, you come rolling out there, and it's just getting close to being filled in. And then you look up there, and all of a sudden you got people on third down. You kind of glance across the crowd there, and everybody's in their seats and they're screaming. It was loud, you know, and every team that comes in here knows they know about the blue. Or they can go back and look at the records. They can do all the studies and stats and all that. What they don't know is what the crowd's going to be like, and they try to simulate it like we do. And I don't think there's a way to simulate, you know, what our crowd brings and how they bring it. And tonight was no different. So our guys are energized from it. The opposing teams that come in, I think it's difficult to try to communicate through it, and they can act like it doesn't bother them, but I know it does. It showed up again tonight, and we needed them, you know, in this game to get that done. So. Just a credit, we're going to be back again in a couple games, or in a few weeks. We're going to have our, you know, hopefully the same type of crowd, same type of energy, because our guys feed off of it, and our teams that we play makes it difficult.
Your special teams tonight seem like set the tone, not necessarily with any kind of a big play, but just hitting people. Those first 2-3 kicking opportunities just seemed like they were out there setting a sort of a physical intensity kind of tone out there.
Yeah, there was a mindset. You know, I think there was going into this game, there was an absolute mindset of going out there and playing physical. And that was something that we talked about and showed up, and it started with our special teams. That was going to be the first unit to have a chance to do that. And so I think they continue to set the tone throughout the game of just playing physical. Thought we did a better job in the return game on both ends. Don't know how many yards we might have lost, you know, in some other areas, but for the most part, you know, I think the special teams from the week before, what we emphasized, we got better at. All right, now we got to take the next step, you know, going into New Mexico. So I know this about our guys. You know, what we emphasize, and Coach really emphasizes, you know, we're going to get, and we're going to keep hammering on it like we've haven't worked on it. You know, and that's got to be the mindset each and every week in that unit. And there's been some new personnel changes in there as well. So you saw a few new guys and a couple new wrinkles in there, and I think that's helped us, and we'll continue that direction.
You guys have unloaded the playbook the last 3 weeks, all kinds of fun plays out there. Is there an emphasis the last few weeks of trying to maybe make it a little more fun or get a little more creative?
It's not all empty yet. There's been a few. I think it's everybody more comfortable in just how we do things. You know, there's a way of how we game plan, and I think as you kind of emphasize certain things, guys see that, and that becomes just part of how we do it, and I think you're seeing that. Coach Sanford, the offensive staff, and those guys have game planned very well. Our defensive staff has done the same thing, and you know, as you go through the season, you get more comfortable, and you see things that you can maybe take advantage of from your own self-scout. And that's probably where we've done a good job, is just looked at ourselves and said, okay, what if we did this? And then put a plan together, see if we can execute it, and we've been able to do that.
You guys, during this 3-game run, against three rivals essentially, you guys have been pretty outstanding in the red zone. I think over the last 3 games you're 18 for 18 in terms of getting points once you get down there. 4 different guys cross the goal line from inside the red zone tonight. What's kind of been the key to that success down there?
Yeah, pointing that out, that was something that, in the previous games we weren't very good at. And we continue to emphasize it. And I think the turning, I wouldn't say the turning point, I don't say we're there yet, but I think where it really came up was against Nevada, because at that point when we played Nevada, they were, top in our conference, in red zone defense. And so I think our guys, made it an even bigger focus and made it even more important, as we prepared for that. And that's just continued, to show up. And then so you can come back from that game and go, okay, so we were better in the red zone. Guess what happened? Okay, light bulb comes on. That's what we got to continue to be, better in the red zone. It seems obvious, but sometimes it's got to be pointed out like that on tape, and it's got to go be practiced again with that same type of mentality. And I think we've done that.
As a first-year head coach of this team, and you've said that it's going to take time to get to know these guys, and et cetera. What's it like to see them adjust and make adjustments and respond to your challenges? I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing coming in here, I know they're smart. They're well coached. That was going to be one thing. They were going to. They know what good coaching is, and they know how to adjust. It was just a matter of our staff helping them to do a better job of that, and then to do it our way. And there's changes in it too. There's different ways of how we were going to go about doing it, and the coaches have done a good job of adjusting to the players that are in the game, and then the players have done a good job of knowing, hey, if this happens, we're probably going to go to this. So a little bit of just anticipation from both sides that, hey, if that happens and you're a coach, and if this happens and you're a player, this is how the other side's going to respond a little bit. It's the adjustment, or this is how the guy's going to have to play it differently. And to me, that's just anticipation of what we're all doing together. And when you have that, then things start to show up in a positive way.
I guess 2 parts. Scary at all to see Jay go down there and grab for his knee, and then after that, they had some momentum going there, and to get the interception and something can score before the half there.
Yep.
I think if I got my right to
Yeah,
get the momentum back.
anytime our guys are on the field, absolutely. It's the guy's out there. He's a player. He's one of your starters, and he goes down. You get sick to your stomach, and you hope that they're going to pop up. And luckily, Jay did. And then, they get the 2 points, and we go down, and Darian gets an interception, and then we turn that into a great throw and touchdown. To change the momentum, and that's really what, from a defensive standpoint, our goal in this "watch me now" attitude is we're going to turn a negative into a positive. Okay, we turn a negative into a positive. We got the ball back, and then the offense now is going to take a turnover, and we got to go strike. We got to do something with all the hard work the defense just put in. And so, to me, that transition about as good as it could for our team. They got it. We turn around, put points on the board, and that's exactly what you talk about. Then you go in the half confident, like this is what we wanted to do, and we did it. And you feel good about that when things like that happen.
So I had 2 things left on the list. One, the interception. I'm wondering if that was just a blocking issue or if there's something Grant could have done to avoid that. And then I think you lost Chaz. I don't think Jeremy or Archie played. So if you can give us an update on any of those guys.
Yeah. Jeremy, we'll see where he's at after the bye week and all that. Didn't play in this game. Chaz got a little ding on his shoulder there, going in, I think on the deep ball that he caught. Probably could have went back in, but at that point, we were rolling pretty good. And then Archie, he's available to play. Actually ran out there, on one, and we pulled him back in. He had a little bit of a ding this week. Fully expect him to be back, but it was nice. He's been in that role, and then he got a little bit dinged. Reese is out there able to go play. And so he was able to do that tonight. Reese got himself back in there. I think his shoe came off, and Eli went in, and then Reese went back in there, is what happened. On the turnover, yes, we needed to block that guy. It's a little bit like Nevada. We need to clear him. Yeah, it's the same thing. We need to clear him in Nevada than this one. The guy did a good job. I mean, he hit it, and we needed to get a piece of him. Sometimes you don't get much, but we need to get a piece of him, and we didn't. And Grant's just kind of turning around and throwing that with trust, and it didn't work out. And so, we adjusted. It's unfortunate because that's one right there. I mean, you turn around and throw it, and the guy's the other way before we can even figure out what happened. But Grant handled it well. You can be upset about it, but at the same time, it's like, I know what happened. Let's fix it, move on. Okay, thanks, guys.